This is Gavin Newsom's worst nightmare. Look at this. Him getting confronted by someone who just lost their home. Look at this.
There's no water in the hydrants, Governor.
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
Getting
Why
the
was there no
resources to do
water
it,
in the hydrants?
What's amazing about clips like this is the fact that he doesn't have a teleprompter. He has no help. This is a constituent who has lost everything. She's making no sense. She's making no sense. I would fill up the fire hydrants. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. However, I understand she gets a pass because she's frantic. But Gavin Newsom, okay, a lot different than standing at a podium with a camera and a bunch of people who are like clapping seals. Oh my God, that was so great, Mr. Governor. Okay, now you have to interact with people. Now you are reaping what you sow. Well, if you guys haven't heard yet, there are people looting. There is chaos in Los Angeles. The National Guard is coming in. You have people lighting things on fire downtown Los Angeles. So I think they call that arson. Which I've been pretty clear. About where I think these fires are, originate from. But again, no way to know. So we're going to go over all of those stories, especially a lot of the really nasty stuff that people are doing in the National Guard. But I wanted to start right here with, everybody loves to blame people for things. And if there's someone to blame for these fires, I feel like the governor of California is a good place to start. And I feel like this story, not going to help him very much. Gavin Newsom cut $100 million from the fire prevention budget before California fires. Oh, man. That's not a good headline for you, Gavin Newsom. That's this morning. And so he signed that into law June of 2024, slashing funding for wildfire and forest resilience by $101 million as part of a series of cutbacks. And guess what else is going to happen? I have a feeling that they're going to start looking into where money was allocated instead of that. That's what's going to happen here. Is they're going to really take a microscope to exactly what was going on with the money in California because they pay the highest taxes, and then you have an outcome like this where people are running out of water when they're trying to put out fires, and they're going to see a thing like that, cut the budget, and they're going to want answers, and they're going to get them, and this is the end of Gavin Newsom's career. And I want to be clear on my position here, okay? This is the game. This is what happens. A thing like this happens, and people look to get political capital, okay? So the people who are not on his team are going to blow Gavin Newsom up. They're going to blame him for everything. They're going to find any way that they can make him responsible for this. And there's going to be plenty of ways to do that, which are legitimate. And then there are going to be some other ways that are kind of stupid, like them people talking about like DEI being the problem. Oh, DEI hires are why the LA fires are out of control. It's ridiculous. But you know what? I don't care because I think DEI is stupid. And so I hope that ends up burning up with all of the homes that they have the inability to protect because they don't have any water. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I don't want any homes to burn up. I want this to be over right now. But the one thing I do want to burn in these fires is DEI and political corruption that lead to terrible outcomes like this, okay? Now, we're going to get into it right now. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate it. I need 100 more subscribers to hit the next 1,000, which is, I believe, 426,000. So hook me up, dude. Help me get there. I would appreciate it very much. I guess we'll just start right here with the National Guard being deployed. Let's check out what's going on here, and then we'll look at some other stuff like the looters and the arsonists burning down the city on purpose.
Well, 10 lives have been lost so far. That was the last death toll. 180,000 people under mandatory evacuation orders and 200,000 others on notice to leave. The impact of these wildfires is simply staggering.
The National Guard is now deployed in SoCal, and they're helping police monitor evacuated areas. Let's go to Mario Ramirez live with the latest. Mario.
Good morning. And 32,000 of those residents remain under mandatory evacuation orders here in this area. We're at Lake and Woodbury, and there have been hundreds of law enforcement, sheriff's deputies patrolling these evacuation zones. You can see they are now getting help from the California National Guard, stepping in to help with wildfire efforts in the area. And this is one of about a dozen of these armored military vehicles that we've seen in the area this morning. 400 Guard members have now been deployed to assist law enforcement with traffic control and securing these fire zones. This comes as 20 people have been arrested for looting in these evacuated areas.
Oh, this is old. This has got to be old because that's gone up a lot from what I've heard. I mean, this is just like, this is going to be a reckoning of biblical proportions on everybody. But the fact that you have to call in the National Guard, I mean, that's not surprising given the fact that the entire city's on fire. But again, I probably should have started with the video we're going to watch right after this, which is of the people burning things down downtown LA. It just brings out the worst in people. Like this kind of thing, well, it brings out both the best and the worst in people. Because again, like my instinct right now is to fly to LA and offer myself to help. Like that's every instinct I have is I'm like, I should just go there. But then like, you know, I'm talking about the government, like what would I do? Like what help am I going to provide? If anybody knows of any way that I could actually help, I will go there and I'll help. But the worst of us are like, oh my God, it's pandemonium. People are losing their homes. I don't have anything. I'll go burn other things down, as you'll see in a second.
Between Wednesday night and Thursday morning, Governor Newsom approving the deployment, saying the state is using every resource to protect these communities, also warning that looting will not be tolerated. Meanwhile, we've heard it. Residents here have been pleading and begging for more help during an extremely difficult and heartbreaking time.
This is the end of Newsom's career, by the way. Just so we're clear. The idea that this guy is going to run for president after this, he's going to be lucky to remain the California governor.
I mean, right now we can use any assistance we could take because this was devastating. It's a real disaster. I know like Katrina and all that was serious, but this is probably the closest that we're going to get to experience or something like that. It's like a movie. That's the best way I can put it. Like from when it was going on to the aftermath, it's just, best way I can put it is like a Hollywood movie. That's the best way I can put it.
Sheriff Luna says they're working through the legal process to put in place a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in impacted areas, all in an effort to deter that criminal activity. Violators could face a misdemeanor.
Yeah, you know what else they're doing, though? Is there are certain areas where people are not allowed to be. You're just not allowed to be there. There's no like curfew. There's no before or after this time. You're just straight up not allowed to be there. So let's go ahead and now let's look at the arsonists. Okay. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Those are the good guys right there. But let's look at the arsonists real quick. Okay. So check this out. Just saw the Drinking Bros podcast Instagram last night. So this is what people are doing. Okay. Like you have people, there's a fire that they started in Santa Monica, and there's another group that's starting fires in Studio City. Like they just want to burn it to the ground, dude.
We're at 302 Pico, and people are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and they're actually, the trees caught fire, and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires down in the so-called, flats around Santa Monica, Venice. So be safe out there. Fire department's been dispatched. We don't have enough water to put this thing out, but we're supposedly on the way.
All units, information only on possible arson suspects. 3506 Berry Drive. Seen about an hour ago. Suspects were 5 male unknown small builds wearing ski masks, black clothing on small mopeds. Incident 3603 under 1595.
Yeah, riding small mopeds and then and starting fires. So good for them, dude. Like it's a really good look, It's a really good look. They're using their ingenuity to try to add to the chaos and burn down additional neighborhoods. Okay, now check this out though, because this is one of those things where you're like in the center of the chaos. Let's just look at actual heroes doing heroic things. Watch this.
Are you guys just bringing out their keepsakes? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because they're out of water. So the firefighters are out of water, and so this is what they're doing. They're taking things out of people's houses because they know the houses are going to burn. They can at least save some of their stuff.
Take some photos. That's amazing. Oh, my gosh.
See? Built different, dude. Built different. Their brains go, right? Like, so you have part of society, you have these just scum of the earth shitbags, right? Just trash, human filth. I mean, I have no qualms about saying that, okay? Like, you have these utter gutter filth where they're like, ooh, there's fires going on. Let's go burn more stuff. Like, these people are a drain on society. You know, instead of like arresting them, we should, you know, like, hey, there is a lot of lawlessness, you know, a lot of lawlessness. It's going to be hard to enforce things. So hypothetically, if you caught someone burning something down and you thought maybe this is the moment, this is your moment, you know, you could probably get away with it right now. You've always thought, you know, maybe one less of them might make the world a better place. Now's the time. I would never encourage anyone to do that, but I'm just saying, like, if you can't help yourself, you got to put someone in the ground. First place I would go is a person committing arson in Los Angeles right now. You know what I mean? But then you have these guys where it's like they can't do their job, right? Because the policies of local and state government have made it to where they don't have the resources. The corruption is just, there are going to be dead careers, okay? Like, careers are going to end over this, like, completely end. And potentially, who knows, maybe people go to jail. But you know that they gave that money, they allocated, I can't remember exactly what the number was, 10 years ago for reservoirs that were going to be for fighting fires. They just never did it. Just took that money, just never did it. Now, we're going to come back to the looters in a second. And by the way, I just wanted to just one more time reiterate, these are what heroes look like. They don't have water to fight the fires. They find a way to help. Okay. But just real quick before we go back to these looters and riotous, the people who are causing chaos. Did you see, you guys see this? See this story? Okay, let me actually move that over so you can actually see it. But the LA, as if they weren't already trying to set a record for incompetence, right? They're like, how can we look worse in this situation? It's like, well, the way that you guys have handled this, like, you can't look worse, okay? Like, these aren't things you can undo while the thing is happening. You have been neglectful, you have been wasteful, and you have been incompetent all the way up to now. Now, this fire, this is your reckoning. This is the reckoning of their entire political system in California, okay? They've been getting off easy. Now, people like me, we fled the county. Like, we fled the state. We fled the state. They were getting away with a lot of dirty business, dude. A lot of dirty business. But nonetheless, while that's happening, they still, to this, right now, they still did this, okay? Nearly 180,000 people have already been sent mandatory evacuation orders. But guess what? They sent an incorrect one to the entire LA County, okay? It was just meant to go to a specific area. They sent it to every single person in LA. An evacuation alert. Hey, because there's already not chaos and pandemonium in the streets. They're all, how could we make this much, much worse? Okay, that actually happened. This is went to every person in LA. This is an emergency message from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. A county-wide alert just read, an evacuation warning has been issued in your area. Remain vigilant of any threats and be ready to evacuate. Gather loved ones, pets, and supplies. Continue to monitor local weather, news, webpage, yada, yada. That went to every single person. It was only meant for and then look, hey, disregard. Okay, for 22 minutes. For 22 minutes, people were under the impression that they were, evacuating. It's all, never mind. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Okay. Now, another thing, before we get back to the, the looting and all that is, look at this, dude. So Mel Gibson was actually on Rogan's podcast. And while he was there, he's talking about Gavin Newsom, and he's talking about, I'll show you guys the clip and then we'll look at his house. This is wild. Okay. Like, I'm talking about his house. This is really crazy. Okay. Watch this clip real quick.
But like this morning, for example, I would be surprised if my home is still there.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. The Palisades is on fire.
Yeah.
My friend Tom Segura, his house is gone.
Yeah.
It was where he used to live. He sold it, luckily.
Yeah. I have a son. He's in the sort of volunteer fire brigade, Milo. I call him the mayor of Malibu. And he's running around. And I asked him, how's things looking there, Milo? He says, not good, Pops. He says, your neighborhood. And he sent me a video of my neighborhood. And it's in flames. It looks like an inferno. So, yeah.
Do you think this will get you out of California finally?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So again, I want to talk about people leaving California, but first I want to show you this. Okay, look at this right here. Let me actually switch myself over here, and let me make this a little bit more visible. Okay, this is Mel Gibson's house. Mel Gibson is worth. I mean, I can't even imagine. Let's actually look that up really quick, just because I'm curious, and I'm sure all of you are. Mel Gibson net worth. $425 million. Okay, so this is what your house looks like when you're worth $425 million. Beautiful property up in the hills. And this is the inside. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is what it looks like now. Burnt to cinders. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It is actually like, in my opinion, it's like less tragic, given that he has $425 million. He's going to be fine. You could tell by his demeanor when he's talking about it. It's like, I mean, life is a little less, little less scary when you know that you're financially golden. However, when you're a regular person and your house gets burned down and your insurance policy dropped you, that's when, and you're probably in a neighborhood where you have these looters and these, the scum of the earth running around. That's a very different situation. You know what I mean? So let's go back over here and start looking at, again, the scum of the earth. Okay. Let me make this, let me size this up a little bit different, or go like this. So California looters are breaking into homes at Pacific Palisades wildfire burns. This is 2 days ago. 2 people have been arrested on suspicion of looting in Southern California during wildfire evacuations. Their identities and details of their alleged crimes are yet to be released. Okay, so obviously this is a way, way, way bigger issue when the next story is the National Guard arrives in LA. Curfews planned, crackdown on looting and fire-ravaged areas. Let me tell you something right now. I don't care what the numbers are. They say, oh, yeah, there's only, we've made this many arrests. Okay. Do you have any idea how widespread this probably is, that people are doing this? Like law enforcement, fire department, their hands are full, man. That's why you got the National Guard coming in. Okay. The National Guard came in 1992 during the LA riots. And I believe during the Watts riots too. Actually, I know during the Watts riots they did. But they come in when things are going, things are imploding. You know what I mean? People are running around, society is breaking down. Okay? So I just want you to keep that in mind when we're actually talking about the numbers of arrests and stuff, but how widespread this actually is probably absolutely astronomical, and it's going to get a lot worse. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna announced several measures on Thursday to ramp up security in areas that have been evacuated because of devastating fires in the area. More than 20 arrests have been made on suspicion of looting over the past few days. As part of the effort, National Guard troops were in place Friday in some burn zones to provide protection. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has officially requested the support of California National Guard, yada, yada. Having additional resources, having the National Guard with us will help send a stronger message, keep people out of the impacted areas so we don't continuously victimize the people who have already been victimized. If your instinct is to go to where things have burned and just go rob and steal, I mean, I don't know, dude. I guess I've never been that poor, so I can't, I don't want to be that judgy if people are genuinely that desperate. They're, oh my God, I might be able to get something. But outside of people like that, people are just opportunists. I don't think I should say anything actually else about that. I mean, this is going to be the Los Angeles Times. I wouldn't read. I didn't even realize I was on the LA Times. This is the worst paper in America, But I mean, 10 killed, 10,000 structures feared destroyed. Gavin Newsom is finished, man. Bottom line. Gavin Newsom, let's just see. I'll just search his name. Okay, let's just see. Gavin Newsom California has more money than it expected. Here's how Gavin Newsom wants to spend it on Cal matters. Hey, I wonder if Gavin Newsom's feeling the heat a little bit, and he's like, "Hey guys, we need a big story. We need a big story." They're all, "What is it?" He's like, "You know that money that I set aside to steal, or that I set aside to like do something terrible with, or like I was just whatever." Let him know, like we can't do that right now. Like, put it out. We got more money. Like, we're gonna allocate that money. Like, I did something good. It's like, yeah, that's not going to work, dude. You're gonna be held responsible for this. Look at this. Gavin Newsom confronted by furious LA resident after fire hydrants run dry. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at that.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
What on earth does that mean? I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. I would fill them up myself. I mean, of course, she probably lost her home. I'm not talking shit about her, but it's like, I would fill up the hydrants myself. You're all, what? Like, with what? What does that mean? But Gavin Newsom has no answers. That's kind of the main takeaway from that is he has no answers.
Why was there no water in the hydrants,
That's
Governor?
all being.
He doesn't know.
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
He doesn't
Has
know.
to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants
Wait, what
myself.
did he say?
Why was there no water in the hydrants,
That's
Governor?
all being. That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
We're getting the reason.
He is unstable right now. He's trying his best. He knows, like, if he blows up on somebody, it is going to make the 6 o'clock news in every single county in the entire world. And he's like, listen, bitch, I don't care that you lost your house, okay? I'm taking flack everywhere. I'm getting shot from everywhere. Everybody's hitting me from all over the place. I don't care about your house. You're all, what'd you say, dude? He's like, what? Oh, you just said you don't care about her house. He's all, I didn't mean I didn't care about her house, y'all, but you don't, do you? But you don't, do you, Gavin? I got to go to jiu-jitsu. I love you guys. You guys are the best. Bye-bye.